Lesson 45, titles. Titles of books, magazines, and newspapers are set off by italics in printed material. When you write by hand, underline these titles. So whenever it's a book, a magazine, or something, make sure you underline it, okay? If it's printed, like when you type something, you can use it in italics. But if you're handwriting it, just make sure you underline the book, okay? Or the title. Titles of songs and most poems are set off by quotation marks. So a title always has quotation marks. Quotation marks are like this, right? You guys know what quotation marks are. Okay, here's poems, songs. Now, notice that the first word and each important word in the titles begin with the capital letter. Words such as a, and, at, and, by, for, in, of, on, the, to, and with, they're not capitalized unless they are the first or last word in the title. Unless, like this is like, if this was like, if you had a book that was just titled with, obviously you have a capital W. But if with is in the title, then you don't capitalize it. All right, so practice A, write each title correctly. Elmsford Journal, that is a newspaper, so you just make sure you capitalize it, okay? And since it's a newspaper, you need to make sure you underline that. So this would look like this. Elmsford Journal, right? And since it's a newspaper, you would underline it. Highlights for children. Highlights, you capitalize highlights. You don't, for is one of those words that you don't really need to capitalize. Children. Okay. And again, since it is a magazine, you have to underline the title. So you would do highlight for children. Okay. The sound of music. All right. Now, even though the is one of those words that you don't necessarily need to capitalize it, this is the first word of the song. Therefore, it does need to be capitalized. Sound needs to be capitalized. Of is in the middle of the title. It does not need to be capitalized, but M in music does. Now, it's a song, right? If it's a song, it has quotations. So it would look like this. The sound of capital music and then quotations. Okay. Here's a book, My Side of the Mountain. All right, so my needs to be capitalized. Side needs to be capitalized. Of the, you don't need to capitalize those. Mountain, yes, you do, and you need to underline. This is the title of a book. Okay. A poem, don't forget, poem, you're going to have quotations, right? All right, practice B. Write the title in each sentence on the line. Capitalize each title. Also, underline or add quotation marks to set out the title. All right, so number 1 says, I just read this month's Sports Illustrated for Kids. So the magazine, it's Sports Illustrated for Kids. So you're going to capitalize Sports Illustrated, not for, and then capitalize kids. Now, since it's a magazine, you are going to have to underline it. So you need to write it out. Just the title, not the whole sentence, okay? Just the title. Oodles of Noodles is a funny poem. All right, so poem, we know that it needs to have quotations. And it needs to be capitalized. You don't need to capitalize of, right? All right, number 3, we sang I've Been Working on the Railroad in music class. All right, so there's a song, I've Been Working on the Railroad. So if that's a song, and you can even see, look, they even give you a hint, it's capitalized. Okay, now I've been needs to be working on the does not need to be capitalized. It's one of those words, but railroad does. Okay. A mouse acts bravely in the book, Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim. All right, so what is the book? It tells you right here, Mrs. Frisby and the Rats of Nim. Some of you might have read this. So capitalize Mrs., capitalize the F in Frisby. Not and. Now, in this case, oh no, you don't need to put capitalize the, you do need to capitalize rats. Okay. If you like funny books about school, read Amber Brown is Not a Crayon. All right, so it's telling you the book. The book is right here. Sorry, these quotations, Mrs. Romero, that is incorrect because it's a book. So if it's a book, it needs to be underlined. Right here, it's telling you the book. Amber Brown is Not a Crayon. So here is the book title. Capitalize A for Amber. Capitalize B is not a crayon. Capitalize C. Okay. Practice C. Alexander wrote this review of the school talent show. He made 7 mistakes when writing titles. Use the proofreading marks in the box to correct the errors. Did you ever wonder if the students in our school are talented? Last night's talent show proved that we are. Dylan got the show off to a great start. He played On the Sunny Side of the Street on the trumpet. So this is a song title, right? But he did not capitalize on. So there's our first mistake. Terry played Sandpipers on the Beach on the flute. All right, that's another song. It is in quotations, but the beach is not capitalized, right? There's our second mistake. The sad, beautiful sound of her instrument filled the auditorium. Finally, Roxanne's fiddle version of Turkey in the Straw had us tapping our feet. All right, now here's, you may think, oh, there's nothing wrong with this, Mrs. Romero, but actually there is, because in is a word that does not need to be capitalized. So you lowercase that one, that would be 3. Okay, let's do one more. A few students read aloud. Jacob had memorized the poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening by Robert Frost. Well, if this is the poem, right, there was quotations here, so the quotations would need to go there. That's 4. Okay. All right. Practice D. Read each description of a make-believe book, song, or poem. Then make up a title for it. Write your title on the line. So remember, if you're writing a title, don't forget to either underline it, or if it's like a book, right? Quotations, if it's a song or a poem. So this number 1 is a poem about a boy who likes to climb trees with his cat. So you can say it's up in the branches and you put quotations. Number 2, a song about paddling a canoe on a river. I'm going to just make one up right now. And I'll say down, along, capitalize, down, along the, doesn't need to be capitalized, down along the river. And so since it's a song, I need to put quotations. Okay, so continue reading what it says and make up either a book, a song, or a poem. Now, if it's a book, remember, it needs to be underlined. If it's a poem or a song, it needs to have parentheses. Okay, and that's lesson 45 for titles.